Hello and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, whatever. I am Jordan. With me is Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Hi, I am Block Layer Luke.
Oh yeah.
How's everyone out there?
That's why you're so
Don't
hungry.
drag us down, Luke. Don't drag us down.
That's what it means to lay the block, of course.
Yep. Mhm. Eating nachos. That's what it means.
Of course. Don't look that up. Nobody.
Oh, nope.
How are those nachos?
They were good. I'm tempted to eat more, but it'd be too loud and people would hate it. So
I believe we got another question from CJ. Important, I believe.
Every time CJ asks a question, I'm just gonna laugh. That's gonna be an auto thing.
Well, let's do it right off the bat, right off the top. Let's talk about it. I believe the question is, hey, have you guys tried the McDonald's new chicken sandwich? And he wants us to talk about it and our experience on the podcast. Did you try the McDonald's chicken sandwich?
You know I did.
I know you did.
I'm fresh off my chicken sandwich experience.
Today for lunch?
It was like a snack on the way home this afternoon.
All right.
Yeah. Did you get to try it?
Well, you know, I was playing a little coy when he was texting us. I was very much, I've already had, I got a coupon, like notification. I was like, hey, spend any amount of money and you get, no, actually it was get a soft drink. I got a tea and you get a chicken sandwich for free. I was like, that is a cheap meal. And so I got it. I tried it. Chicken sandwich.
How long ago was that?
I was like, it was earlier last week. So
Okay.
it's
pretty
still
fresh
in my mind.
How do we do this without spoiling each other's opinions?
You really can't. You just give your honest opinion. I'll try to give mine.
I think it's a Chick-fil-A clone. I don't like how close it is to Chick-fil-A. And I think with a franchise as large as McDonald's, I think even more so than a franchise like Chick-fil-A that's big. I mean, it's big, but I mean, it pales in comparison to something like McDonald's, which is, what, in the top 3. Like Subway, I think, is maybe the only other restaurant that's bigger than McDonald's. It's like Subway and McDonald's.
It's
like,
crazy how big Subway is, but go on.
They've consumed the world. But so because of that, I think, your chicken sandwich eating experience is probably going to vary from one visit to another because there's so many people out there and, quality control is just hard is what I'm trying to say. So in my case, on my chicken sandwich, I would like to maybe try it again just to see, but mine was on the drier side. It wasn't so dry that I didn't enjoy the sandwich, but Chick-fil-A has just something special. I mean, I don't know if there's magic pixie dust in that kitchen or something, but the chicken is incredibly juicy every single time I have it. And it's the reason I go back to Chick-fil-A. It's like, I've realized it's almost like once a week I have like a hankering and I'm just like, it's Chick-fil-A night. It is.
Except Sunday. Can't be Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of long-winded way of saying like, it's good, but I think it's too close to Chick-fil-A and it was on the drier side. So I only have that one sandwich to go off of. I might get another one and say, oh, this is as good as Chick-fil-A, but let's be honest, it's never going to exceed that. So for that reason, I will say it is subpar to Chick-fil-A, but it's an acceptable chicken sandwich. Definitely an improvement over the old one, I would say.
So yeah, I mean, okay, so I actually kind of like the fact that everyone's trying to be a Chick-fil-A clone in a way. They're like, here's our chicken sandwich. It comes in a bag.
I will say Popeyes is a little different.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree. I think each one is a little different in their way. McDonald's is, out of all the ones I've had, Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, and this other one I'm going to talk about a little bit. Popeyes is probably, I mean, McDonald's is probably on the lower end. I agree with you, Luke. It is dry. The crispiness is good. It's a good crisp to it. That's why I like it.
I did not find mine to be that crispy.
Mine was pretty
Maybe
crispy,
but didn't get one that was crispy enough.
The inside was the problem. It was just too dry and not juicy enough. I got the spicy one, which was concerning.
I almost got both. I was tempted
to just hum.
Yeah. Let's give it a real test.
Yeah. I'm always nervous with spicy because, in my opinion, the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich too spicy. Spicy. Like, goodness gracious, killing me.
I like it, but it and it seems like that actually does vary in quality a little bit because I'll get one that it's like that was spicy. And then I get another one. It's like, this is fire.
I'm gonna die. I can't get through
Somebody
this.
just completely basted this thing in every piece of sauce, let it dry, and do it again. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, the image of the spicy chicken sandwich at McDonald's was displayed as the sauce kind of flowing off the edge, you
Yeah.
know? And so as I got it, I kind of opened it up and I was like, let's see what's going on here. And there's just like a little like dot
Really.
in the middle of the sandwich
Yeah.
of that spicy sauce.
Somebody's just like poop, 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 poop. Little shots.
I guess.
Somebody's moving quick.
Yeah, someone's moving really fast. But you know, so I can't really, I don't really know. I don't feel like I have a good judge on whether or not it's spicy. It wasn't spicy for me, like at all. But maybe if the sauce was at the proper level, maybe I'd feel a little differently. But yeah,
But the sauce is the only hot thing. The actual chicken sandwich is the same as the original. Is that true?
That's how I felt when I was eating it. I did not.
It's
feel,
not like there's a separate patty.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't like sense any spice coming from the chicken itself. Not like
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A where you can like see the redness.
Yeah.
You can
Mhm.
see the devil's
You can-
red
yep.
aura
Yep.
within the chicken itself. But
it sneers at you as you go to bite it.
yeah, exactly. I'll say this though, it's good.
Gotcha.
It exactly. Oh shoot! Oh! I'll say this though, the McDonald's Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, Chick-fil-A sandwich, if you will, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
as you said, it's definitely better than any chicken sandwich they've ever had, I think. But you know, it is
Yeah.
what it is. It's McDonald's. But I want to segue into this a little bit. I had another version of that sandwich a week prior. Zaxby's. Zaxby's is doing the same thing.
Hmm.
It's their
Okay.
signature chicken sandwich.
Hmm.
It's good. It's freaking good, man. It's the same deal, bun, chicken, pickle, except they add their Zax sauce to it. And I think that's a good move.
Yeah.
The Zax sauce on there is delicious. It's juicy. It's sizable. It's crispy. I like Zaxby's. I don't know if CJ, I don't know if you have one in Ohio. I don't know how far Zaxby's reach is.
I know our friend Jason, who lives in Indiana, he actually got a Zaxby's not that long ago because it was one of his favorite chicken places down here when he was going to school. And then I think they actually did get one in their town. And that's been a few years, so maybe they've moved north. Maybe they've made it to Ohio at this point.
Oh man, can only hope. If you happen to see that chicken logo, try out the Zaxby's chicken sandwich. I think, I love Zaxby's. I have like it makes me feel like absolute like misery every time I eat Zaxby's. Like it just makes you feel so full and so weighed down, so heavy. But I just love Zaxby's. I feel like their
Yeah.
crisp and juiciness of their and spice of their chicken is
Yeah. It is good.
chef's kiss.
And I don't feel like there's that many chicken places down here. Like I was talking to Bethany about it, like going and trying to get like a basket of chicken, like fried chicken.
Yeah, no.
It's like there's KFC and then there's Publix. And that's about it.
Popeyes, but with Popeyes in our
Yeah,
town, it
yeah.
sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
Our Popeye sucks. There's
And we only
one.
have one, so it's
Yeah.
like
And it's in a terrible location.
yeah,
The
on the opposite side of town from us.
yeah, the drive-through is too short, but it's too popular. So the drive-through line will go like out into the street,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
will.
like you see it and you're like, no,
Yeah,
I can't do this.
yeah. Since we're talking
But
about
you're right.
other chicken sandwiches, I have two recommendations.
Go for
Our
it.
local place Max has a really good one.
Oh, I didn't know
You
they
can
diversified.
customize it. I customize it with mayo, mustard, pickle. It's really good. So I don't know. Not everyone's gonna like that combo, but you might, Jordan, because you like a lot of the same things I do.
Yeah. Super
then the
local
other
joint,
one-
Max.
Yeah. And cash only, one of those like hole in the wall places,
Let's
but
make
it
it as
stays
hard as it can.
insanely busy.
Exactly. It's like let's make it as hard as we can.
It's crazy.
You don't know what hours we're open. You have
I
the
know,
wrong
I know,
currency,
I
and
know.
we're busy.
Yeah, we're only
But we're
accepting
so
yen
good.
today. Exactly.
Exactly. We're so good though. Max is fantastic. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
it's I don't know if it's the best burger place in town, but it's close. And the other one is a big chain. First went to it in New York, Shake Shack. Their burgers are great, but their chicken sandwich is on a whole nother level. Oh man, we don't have one here in our town, but there is one in Orlando. I know you go there sometimes. I don't know if you ever get by. Hit
I'll
that
have to check
chicken
it out.
sandwich. It's so good.
Okay, Shake Shack chicken sandwich. I love a chicken sandwich.
really
I
good.
love that question because I love a chicken sandwich.
Yep.
I'm a sucker for
We
it.
sound like a bunch of fatties.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I feel like it too. Like there's sometimes you get a thought in your head. Do you ever get like a thought and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go get that chicken sandwich, and you feel like a
Yep.
bit of shame.
Yep.
You're like
Yep.
eating it. And you're like,
I
it's
want
so
a Coke
good.
right now, so I'm just gonna get one. I need that McAllister sweet tea. We gotta stop.
Yeah, right. All
And
right.
then, of course, the other 97% of the time, like I just got to pump out that 10 push-ups. That's
Oh,
what
of
I'm
course.
usually thinking about.
Immediately, right?
I got to ride that 50 miles on my bike and
I just can't
run
wait
2 miles.
to do that thing. Anyways, Luke, another week, another what are you watching / playing / listening to? I believe it's your shot.
So yeah, I always have so many things, and I'm not sure which thing, but there's this song, "The Parting Glass." So many people have covered. So many people. What?
Yeah.
My mic has been changed. Oh,
Went out.
sorry.
No, you're right.
My USB came out, so my mic got disconnected for a second.
Sounds better.
My bad. Can you hear me? Is everything good?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good now.
So, "The Parting Glass" is a song that is like, I think it's an old Irish
Parting Glass.
song.
Sounds like it.
So many people have covered it. Hold on 1 second.
Parting Glass.
So many people have covered this song, and I found a cover just in my like Discover. I think it was like a new release by this guy Henry Jameson, featuring this other band Darling Side, and yeah, it's just they use like a voice modulator on it, and there's something about like voice modulated songs.
Yeah.
Imogen Heap was like the epitome of that. She would do voice modulated like in a bunch of her songs, and I don't know, she did it really well, and I don't know, this song like to me fits really good with doing that. And yeah, it's just this like, I don't know, it has like some power in the way he sings it. I enjoy it. So Hosier's covered it, Celine Dion's covered it.
Wow.
I mean, Celtic Woman. That's what I was talking about.
Oh,
before
that's
the
right.
show.
The Celtic Women.
The Pogues. I mean, yeah, it's Ed Sheeran is probably like the most well-known
Oh yeah.
cover of this. I thought it was on that Inside Llewyn Davis soundtrack, but can't remember. I haven't listened to that soundtrack in a while. But yeah, it's a good cover.
I can't recall.
Henry Jameson,
I'll check it out
Parting Glass.
right now. No, not right now, but soon. I checked out that other band you recommended, Nightlife. Good stuff. I'm
Yeah.
giving a thumbs up, audio listeners. I dig it. I listened to that whole Waking Up is Hard to Do album. Is that the name of the album? Yeah, it's the name of the album. Yeah, it was really good. Me likey.
I recommend The Wildlife.
Wildlife, yeah. What did I say?
You said The Nightlife.
My
I was
bad.
thinking, who's The Nightlife?
Wildlife, my
I
bad.
was like, maybe this is another band I need to listen to.
I can't get these names straight. But yeah, that's what I listened to.
The Wildlife, but spelled super weird.
No vowels or except for E.
The Wild Div.
Yeah, they're so cool. So cool for school. But yeah, anyways,
What's yours?
okay. All right. So, do you remember the band 303? Okay, so
no, I don't think I do.
let me remind you of the
I'm
song.
looking at their page. I don't recognize them.
Okay, well, you're about to. It all sounds like this. She's like, and she's an actress. I don't know, but it was like, don't trust a
I
hoe.
spelled it 303. That's a different band.
Yeah, you're a
know what
mistake,
you're talking about now.
Luke.
Yeah,
There's an
of course.
exclamation mark.
Of course, yeah. Well, it's 30H exclamation point 3.
Yeah.
But
But anyways,
of course, 303.
don't trust me.
You're insane.
I
Yeah.
think it's a horrible song. I really don't like it. But like, all that stuff, I just don't like that tone of a song. Like someone like, I don't know. There's something so gross about it. That being said,
These guys are awesome.
No, I'm not gonna go that far, but I did listen to their new song for some reason. I listened to their new song, and it's called "I'm So Sad," which is just about as hilarious as it sounds. Yeah, it's just a pretty cool song, and I'm like, hey, if they sounded like this back in the day, I'd probably be a fan. It's just like, it's kind of just like a pop rock song, kind of basic in that regard, but like I think the lyrics are pretty funny. It's like kind of like making fun of themselves a little bit about how
Mm-hmm.
like they're
Trying to listen
old
to this
and
stuff while you're talking.
yeah. It's like they're how they're old and washed up, and they should probably have some kids, but they don't. And they're just like,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, and I just think it's a little bit of like a parody
maybe
of
Good
like
Charlotte kind of thing.
exactly. It's almost like it almost reminds me of like a parody, almost like if Weird Al did a parody of like an
Yeah.
emo band who grew up and are like, crap,
Yeah.
we're still emo,
Yeah.
but we don't have all the things we need. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, especially how they went from that "Don't Trust Me" song into that. I hate that song. That song's so garbage.
Mm.
Anyway, what have you been watching / playing, Luke?
So I'm still working on 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just that I'm watching it at night, and I don't know. It's tough at night because you want to sleep when he's sleeping, but then you also want to watch movies because you miss getting to watch movies
Yeah.
in those times. So it's like, yeah, I'm still trying, but I've gotten to watch a little bit more. It's
Which
just
part are you on?
such a cool movie. It's just so original. You remember the part where they're actually I have seen a little bit more. It's Hal's whole thing.
The whole
It's
Hal
like
thing.
it's going down with Hal. So yeah, it's the part that I've heard talked about so many times, and I just wanted. It's partially why I wanted to watch this movie. I'm like, I just have to know how this whole thing goes down because I hear people talk about it, joke about it. The Hal 9000. So
I feel like that movie, like there's a few sections that are iconic, but there's like a whole hour of it that not very many people talk about, and it's a little bit more slow. It's like, but once you get through that part, it's a lot better, and it gets to the Hal stuff and then the ending, which a lot of people talk about. But yeah, you'll see. Anyways, good.
The beginning of that movie is like, I don't know, it's to someone who doesn't enjoy movies as much and they just come at it for like I want to be entertained. I want things to come in front of me that entertain me. They're not going to find that interesting. But I found it just so original. It's like it's not entertaining at all, but it's like, man, so neat like that he like went to the trouble of doing all this to like create this whole throughput in the movie. As much as I've seen of it, but like the origin of man, and then like the beginning of the tools, and then jumping to the advanced tools, and it's just cool idea. And just
Oh yeah, I love the
Kubrick
beginning.
is just I mean, everybody says it, and I'm just jumping on the bandwagon, but he's definitely an original thinker
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. There's something really engaging about that in that beginning. It's that part like right after the beginning where like they're on the moon and they see the monolith. After that, you get a lot of
The
look at
slowest
space.
transition to that point too.
Yeah.
Like they follow the guy and his whole journey up there. And
Oh yeah, my gosh.
I talked about some rom-coms last week, and I mentioned 50 First Dates, and so I went ahead and watched it. And it's just a great movie, man. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit at the tail end of when Adam Sandler was making what I would consider just like these timeless classic comedies. And so this was a little bit at the end, stuff like The Wedding Singer, which I think they're just great movies that can just be rewatched till the end of time. Happy Gilmore and Big Daddy and all those movies. Some of them better than others, but
Yeah.
just all good timeless movies that can be rewatched a lot. He has a way of like, I don't know if it's joining up with the right directors early on, or him having his own input or something, or just picking great scripts. I don't know, but so many of those movies in the late 90s, early 2000s were just classics.
I think it's usually when he's working with the right people, because Usually I feel like when it's in a big Happy Madison production with his guys, I feel like it can go off the rails a bit, but when he's working with others, I like in 51st Dates where it's not completely a Happy Madison, it can be
Yeah.
great.
So
He's
yeah,
really
I watched
talented.
that movie again, and it's just a classic. Drew Barrymore is just such a great actress for rom coms.
Yeah,
She's so likable and
it's charming.
warm, and she's just got a good screen presence. So yeah, I watched that. That's great. And Bethesda released a ton of games. I wish we'd talked about that last week. I
Yep.
don't know if we had just gotten the news then or what, but a bunch of games got released onto Game Pass from Bethesda. The deal got signed, and yeah, ink's dry, all that stuff. So I started, just like I did when EA Play came out. I started going through and picking out games that I wanted to play, like Prey and um, gosh, the other one I downloaded Skyrim. But I also downloaded a couple versions of Bethesda's greatest, one of their greatest properties, I would say, and that is Doom. I
Oh
downloaded
yeah.
the very original version of Doom and the Doom 64 version,
Mhm.
and I've been playing quite a bit actually of the original. I'm probably 70% of the way through the game. I've never beaten that game,
Me neither.
and and I jumped into some Doom 64, and it's interesting playing the original and then jumping ahead. What, like 5 years later? I want to say it was 93 was Doom 1.
Yeah.
I think 64 was like 97 or 98, just off the top of my head. Um, yeah, just seeing like the interesting improvements and things that I not sure are improvements, but just
Yeah.
different ways interesting things like the fact that if you aim at something, like there's no up or down, you just aim, it'll shoot something that's like down below your screen, or it'll shoot something that's like above your screen. It's just you just have to line it up left and right. Um,
Not to mention the hilarity that anything with the name 64 at the title is a multi-platform game. That
yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
blows my mind where I'm just like, can you imagine? Anyways.
So yeah, I came away from Doom Original just thinking like I've always had trouble really connecting with older games. Like on paper, I love the idea of like going back to these old games of my childhood, but then when I actually get into it, they really drag for me. I think it's because my mind is so used to these super fast paced, Twitch shooters that it's just hard to hold my attention when I know I could be playing that. And I always feel like I don't want to
Yeah.
waste any time on any game that I'm not enjoying. So if I'm not enjoying a game, I'll just like drop it like that. So all that being said, I picked up Doom thinking, okay, I'll play this a little bit. It'll be fun. And then I kept playing. I'm like, I'm actually having fun. I
Yeah.
introspectively was thinking, like, I'm actually enjoying this. This is a game from 93. Heck, we're going on almost 30 years old now.
Dang.
And it's still fun. It's low res, and it plays like a breeze on this, incredible computer now compared to the garbage it was playing on back in 93. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just fun. It's fun to go back to that kind of game.
Yeah.
And I I said, this game's so old, I think it won't be a challenge. So I went in and went like straight to Nightmare, which is the top difficulty. And it's funny, they have a little thing that's like, are you sure you want to play this? This is completely unfair. You probably don't want to play this. So I played it for like, I don't know,
Just
30 seconds or
because.
something. And I was just like, yep, it's too hard.
Yep.
But
Insane.
actually,
Bye.
Ultra Violence is the one below that. I love the names.
Oh
And
yeah.
Ultra Violence is the difficulty level below that. Actually, yeah, I've been trucking through at that difficulty, and
All right.
it's tough. You lose health really fast. Like you can't let them shoot you, like even a couple times, or you'll be dead. And you'll just get bum rushed by this like wave of guys, and it'll just be like, I can't shoot this shotgun fast enough.
Dang.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and beat that game. It's just
Awesome.
so cool that that's just like, I know you can play it anywhere, and I probably could have found a ROM for it or something, but it's, having it on my brand new console on my big screen TV with that kind of ease is just, it's amazing.
I
It's
love that
amazing
stuff.
what Game Pass has brought us, and I'm so happy the Bethesda catalog has come our way, and I look forward to Starfield at some
Oh my
point.
gosh. And just a note about that, but these Bethesda stuff, adding it to Game Pass, I think along with that, there's an interesting thing that they're doing with the new Xbox Series consoles, S and the X, are getting this FPS boost, which are they're making an like basically boosting the FPS through some software wizardry from 30
Yep.
frames per second to 60. And there's a few games part of the Bethesda library that now have that, and that's Fallout 4, Skyrim, and I believe Dishonored 1. But that's cool. These are games that you've never been able to play in 60 before, except unless you were able to like use some mods, and now
Yeah.
you can just do it right from the get-go with all your achievements and everything. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I opened Skyrim. I was not able to get my save.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wonder what I'm doing wrong.
Huh.
Maybe because it's the special edition Skyrim, and I never owned the special
Oh,
edition.
that might be it. I think that's it. I'm gonna sneeze.
That kind of sucks because
Woo!
it's the same game, right? As far as I know, just with improvements.
Same game, yeah, with all the DLC.
I mean,
just looks
I
better.
had a lot of hours in the old one. Then kind of a shame.
That's
I
probably.
think I was a
the case.
vampire, part of the vampire clan at that point.
I think my wife's a vampire in that game too. But that's
It's so easy. Just don't sleep outside if you don't want to become a vampire. Because if you do, it's probably going to happen. A man will come in the night. What you been up to?
a few things. There's a couple things I forgot to mention last week. One of the I can't believe I forgot about this, but I saw Raya in The Last Dragon.
Right.
When it came out. The Disney Plus went to Disney Plus in theater same day, but we decided to do the premium thing and go ahead and pick that up. $30 is a lot, and we ended up actually splitting the cost with a couple other friends that would be interested in that, and so worked out all right. Raya and the Last Dragon was really, really good. It's the Disney Animation Studio, not Pixar, but Disney Animation
Mhm.
Studio. People brought you Frozen, Moana, all that stuff. This is not a musical. It's more like just kind of a fantasy adventure movie, kind of a martial arts, East Asian kind of a flair to it, and it's really, really good. I think it's up there as far as one of the better ones they've done recently. The action's really good. I think the story is pretty fantastic as far as like we're going to take this original idea and we're going to create this lore and everything. As far as that goes, it's not based on like a book or anything like Frozen or Tangled or anything. It's like, okay, we're just going to kind of make this up. And so I think it was a really interesting story. And as far as the only quibbles I have with it, I felt like it was too short, which is weird to say, but like I felt like it could have been like 20 or 30 minutes longer. I know it was actually not super short for an animated movie, like maybe an hour 40 or something like that. So it was plenty long, but I felt like it could have been a little longer just to flesh out some of the characters a little bit. But I think from what it had, it did just a fine job with its characters. But the story is fantastic and the action's really good. The music's great. Great message. I think, it's kind of about just kind of coming together and trusting each other. And yeah, getting past differences and stuff like that. I think it's a really good, well told message, which felt honest and not like super preachy, like all these characters are having to get over their own flaws, and so there's not just this one perfect person who's like, here I am, I'm Raya, I'm here to tell you everything that you all need to do. And so it was really good. So $30, I'd say probably wait to either see it in theaters or wait till it comes to Disney Plus proper. I think $30 is a lot. I love these kind of movies. Like I didn't do this for Mulan, but for Disney, animation studio movie, I can't really wait. So I went ahead and found a way to do it, and I recommend it if you're that way. Otherwise, wait. When it comes to Disney Plus, 100% check it out. What Disney Plus proper, not this premium thing they're doing. Yeah, highly recommend it. Okay, so this is an old one. You watched Tombstone, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. My wife has never seen it, and it's funny you were talking about like movies that like she was not into that movie, man. Westerns aren't really my thing, but when there's a really good one on, I'll sit down,
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it, I'll appreciate it. Her not so much. So she wasn't into it, but man, that's a good movie.
I love Tombstone.
So entertaining.
So good.
I love Val Kilmer in that movie as Doc
yeah.
Holliday. I love that one. There's so many good lines, but one that stuck out to me that I wanted to put in. There was one guy, he's kind of like a little bit of a showdown's about to happen. He's like, "You're so drunk, you're seeing double," and he's like, "I got 2 guns for the both of you." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so freaking cool! What a good line." He delivers it so well. Yeah, fun movie. Great act. It's so weird. And I was like, I had this thing like
so many good actors in that movie.
So many good actors. Bill Paxton, obviously, Kurt Russell, and man. And did you know? I didn't know. I was looking at the cast list. Billy Bob Thornton's in this, and I was like, "Where is he? I don't even see." Huh. And I was like, "Who was he?" The whole movie passed me by, and I was like, "I never saw." Oh my god, he was like a little like chubbier, a little bit, and I was like, "What in the world?" He's the guy who Kurt Russell kicks to the curb, who's like cheating people in poker, and he's like, "You're in my seat," or whatever. He's like that guy. Wow. I didn't even recognize him.
No.
I was like, holy freaking crap, are you kidding
me?
I'd
have to go back and watch.
Yeah, even like looking at him, I was in disbelief. But anyways, great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Lastly, I watched this last night on Netflix. It's another crime drama. I don't like think of myself as someone who's like really into this whole like crime documentary thing. I don't like subscribe to be like, oh, ID Network or any of that stuff. But every now and then, you know, these Netflix one where it's like a mini series, I kind of get into it. Night Stalker. You may have seen it while scrolling through Netflix. It's pretty popular. Yeah, man. Crazy stuff. It's just like this guy who's super evil in like the 80s in California and LA. Man, so interesting. Really good documentary. It's told really well. If you don't know what happens, especially, it's like, whoa, I really want to know how you guys caught this guy. It tells the story through the police perspective for the most part. Sometimes they'll talk to some of the survivors, but man, what a maniac. I kept thinking, they keep talking about how evil he is, but I kept thinking of this is inappropriate, but I kept thinking of that song from The Spy Who Shagged Me, that evil is his one and only name. I don't know why, but anyways, but yeah, if you're into that stuff at all, this is a good one. 4 episodes long. I watched it in one sitting. But yeah, check it out. It's a little.
I've never been into murder stuff. I just never have.
Of course, I mean, that's the more sensible way to be, because you like watch.
But so many people are. So many people are. My wife is so into that stuff, and I don't know. I mean, I see why it's interesting, but I sit there and I watch it. You know, I mean, if she's watching it, it's like I can get involved with it and watch it, but I don't know why. Like I said, I totally see the draw. You know, it's not like I sit there and like, that's garbage. No, I think that about Hallmark movies, but I don't think that about murder shows. It's like, I get it, but for some reason, I just can't connect.
No, I understand that. And it's like, in a way, it's very like, why would I want to watch this? I mean, like I think everyone has different reasons. The forensic stuff is interesting, I guess, but I don't know. Just like there's something to like seeing someone real, like a real person who does all these things that are so evil, and it's almost
I see the draw. You don't have to convince me. I understand.
I don't know if it's like sobering to me or whatever to be like, oh my gosh, there's people who are just the worst. I can't believe it. And like I don't know. It's interesting. It almost does take you to a little bit of a dark place to imagine that this is real. The stuff that happens in this, like that's described, I guess, because there's no like horrible reenactments. It's all through description where they like just tell you what happened, and you're like thinking like, oh man, I'm surprised they didn't make a movie about this. And I stopped myself and I was like, no, they could never make a movie out of this. This is too horrible. Like I've never seen anything in a movie.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I've never seen anything in a movie
Might
as
not
horrible.
be mainstream.
No, definitely not. Maybe one of those just messed up. I don't know. You gotta open the curtain in the video store to go back and get it. I don't know, but some of the messed up, unbelievable stuff. Anyways, but yeah, very interesting as to the tale of how these two detectives caught this guy and tracked this guy down, how it affected them personally. Very well told. It's, again, mainly through the perspective of these two detectives who were trying to get this guy, and very interesting. And yeah, if you feel like it, check it out. It's on Netflix original.
I'll make sure Bethany's seen it.
Yeah, tell Bethany and she can talk to you about it.
Yeah. Tell me what happened.
Tell me what happens. How did they catch this guy? What? Yeah, and honestly, this isn't a spoiler. I'm not going to say what happened, but I love how the guy was caught. Like it feels, when I was hearing about, I'm like, that feels good. That feels so good. But
Yeah.
anyways, you can look it up or whatever, but it's really cool. But anyways, that's it for me. I believe. We did it. Let's go ahead, and I got a topic. It's a bit of a surprise. I didn't say what the topic was, but I think it's something we haven't talked about yet, but it's an aspect of television that doesn't really get discussed very often on podcasts unless it's specifically geared towards this. But I want to talk about reality TV. Bless you. You sneezed.
No, I was coughing.
Oh, you coughed. Yeah, I
That's
want
what the cough button's for, Jordan.
Sorry, I need to use that. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Mute. There it be.
At the bottom left.
Oh, thank you. Reality television. I have a few things I want to talk about. Like reality TV, honestly, not
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. It's all in its own category, of course. I have a few categories that I've broken it down in, and I want to kind
Let's
of
do it.
give it to you piece by piece. All right. So first off, when I think reality TV, one of the big ones I think of is dating shows.
Right.
Like
Bachelor.
The Bachelor.
Yep.
Bachelor's crazy. It's like the biggest, and it has been like one of the biggest TV
It's insane.
shows. Like
Been running for
consistently.
so long.
Yeah.
Got to be close to 20 years now.
And I've never watched a single episode.
Really? Wow. Wow.
Never.
Good for you.
Thank you. I have, but it's wild. It's crazy. There's, I in my job, in my office, there's a couple girls. They talk about it frequently. Every single
2002.
2000.
Next year will be 20 years.
Oh, dang.
Oh my God.
That's nuts. But there's these three girls at my office. They talk about it like on a daily, weekly, or whatever basis, and they literally ask themselves, this is what they say, Luke. I don't believe any of them watch the show, so it's all right. They say, have you seen The Bee? Did you watch The Bee? The Bee!
What? We've never had a show we watched that much to do that.
No, we've never.
You watched the L for Lost?
Yeah.
Lost.
But like this dating shows have been going on for a very long time. I mean, there was like Dating Game or whatever that was in like the old times.
Yep.
But let's talk about the ones we
All the
remember.
MTV ridiculous ones.
MTV.
Yeah.
So many. I have a list of just MTV ones right here. We have Next, Dismissed,
Yeah. Yeah.
Room Raiders. Remember that one where you got judged by
they
the
look
rooms?
at your room before they see you. Yeah.
They turn on the black light.
Oh my
How did
gosh.
that one work? And like, did they literally see the room and say yes or no, and then you're just going on a date with that person? How did that work?
I don't remember. I don't remember if it was just like stimulating conversation later, or if it was like deciding whether or not you actually want to. Yeah, that's a good question.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. But a lot of these I did not look up purposefully. So maybe we could piece it together ourselves and to be like, what was that? I know.
Gosh.
I remember Next. Next was brutal because you can next the person. There was like the bus full of.
Wasn't there three? Oh, there was a bus?
Yeah, there's a bus full of.
So the one with three, that was a different
That
one?
was Dismissed. Dismissed was the one where it would be like the girl is on a date with two guys, and they'd be like on a date at the same freaking time, and at the end they'd be like, okay, I liked you more and I didn't like you, so you're dismissed. And then she presumably goes off into happily ever after with the other guy, of course.
Happily ever after.
Yeah, right. Maybe one more date, maybe, or maybe they never see each other again and they get popular or something. I don't know. Their MySpace page blows up. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the IMDb page for Room Raiders.
Yeah, I do want to know like what they see the room and they're like, oh, I like.
So it's
that.
either 3 guys or 3 girls. So I think that's what I was thinking about with the 3. And the girl or guy goes to each one of the rooms before he meets any of them. He or she meets them, and then decides on which one to go on a date from what she saw or he saw.
Do they show the date?
It doesn't say in the synopsis.
I don't remember.
It just says whoever room he thinks he likes gets to go on a date with him.
So I guess there's just a presumed date. I think.
What if they're like, I don't even want to go on a date with that guy?
Yeah, they're like, I like your room, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really ridiculous concept.
But what if the people whose room is being raided are like, I don't even want to go on a date with that person? I never got to meet him before.
Yeah, because like in the other ones, you know what you're getting into. Like you're like, okay, I know this person. Like in Next, you're like, oh yeah, I know Kaylee or whoever it is, and it's just a bunch of dudes who are hoping to go on a date with her or whatever. And a lot of times they get nexted right when they get off the bus.
I want to know if a single one of these things ended with people actually having a relationship.
Probably like 0% of the time.
Yeah, probably 0.
I don't even know if like,
because we know it's the fakest thing ever. But
exactly, like a lot of
did
these
something spark something? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. There's different categories for these reality TV things. There's ones that are like one and done, and they like wrap up within the course of the one episode. But then there's ones that are like a season long, and that's the arc or whatever.
There was one because we're having this conversation. I'm now reminded of one that I was watching. It was. You had to spend 24 hours with your ex, like alone in your apartment or house or whatever. So you guys had to be in there. And if it was something,
don't hook up with her or something. Is it that?
It was something like, can they find closure? I can't remember why I watched it, but it was like the weirdest thing. It was like, I think one of them ended up hooking up. There was like, I think during the episode, it was like a bunch of them. There was like 3 or 4 of them.
I wonder what's
and
called.
Like one of them just like, they were like about to kill each other. Dang. And then another one, I think they hooked up. And then another one, it was just like, this doesn't work. And it never has.
Let's see. I'm trying to look at this up.
That's a tough situation.
Reality show.
I think it was they had to spend the night at their house.
Is it called X on the Beach? Never mind. There's so many of these. Hold on. No. Celebrity X on the Beach. X on the Beach UK. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'll try to find it.
All right.
A Night with My Ex is what it's called.
Oh my God.
I found it. It's on Bravo. A Night with My Ex is an American reality television series. It's 10-part show, features ex-couples that reunite for one night to discuss their relationship and hash out their unresolved issues.
Wow. Excellent.
Or murder each other.
Or literally kill each other. There was
the first episode's title, Are You Still a Virgin?
I imagine they're in high school. Are they like younger like that?
Once a cheater, always a cheater. Episode 7.
God. This is like,
yeah, I mean, they're like mid-20s, I think.
All right. They're the ones that came on VH1 where there were a lot of ones like, I believe it was based around one person. It was kind of like The Bachelor, but like less classy. Yeah, if you can imagine.
Not possible.
Yeah, like Flavor of Love.
Oh my God.
Did I just
I completely forgot that existed.
Trigger some horrible memories in your head?
Oh my gosh. Flavor Flav. That's not a good version of his voice, but Flavor Flav.
What? Kermit the Frog?
He has the weirdest voice.
Yeah, I mean, so
Flavor Flav.
like these are like everyone's in it for the absurdity of it all, obviously, right?
Absolutely. Flavor Flav is insane.
'Cause
He's
no
a
one's-
crazy person.
Yeah, regardless what you think of him personally, no one's tuning in going, I wish I
Oh,
was on that
yeah.
show. Or,
Hooking up with Flavor Flav.
and if you could believe it, Flavor Flav spawned a spin-off series
Oh my
called I
God.
Love New York, one
Oh
of the
my
sassier
gosh.
contestants from Flavor of Love.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah. I think I remember that. Because we watched that when we were in college. We were watching that show.
Yeah,
Why were we watching that?
dude,
I don't know.
it's
but
like what's on. This
we're
is
watching
before streaming. We didn't have options.
was
Okay,
that was MTV, right?
no, I think that was VH1. Flavor of
VH1.
Love and
They are all mashed together.
and
the
probably
same
the
garbage.
the Tia Tequila or whichever
Oh
one.
my gosh. Yep. Yep.
I don't know which one Tia Tequila
It's
was.
all kind of like spawns off the real world.
Yeah, which brings us to our next category, the living together shows, like the ones
Yeah.
where they're just all about living together. And here,
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. This is where Jersey Shore
Probably
lives.
the best example.
I
Other-
would say.
that in the real world.
Real World's what spawned it.
But the real world's kind of old at this point, so people wouldn't know it as well.
So, okay, I watched, I think I've probably seen a season of The Real World, like back in the day, like back
Yeah.
in the freaking day. I can't remember what the point was. I remember like they'd have jobs maybe, and they went out and partied, and they'd get mad at each
Yeah.
other.
I don't know if I've watched it either. I was wondering how different it was from Big Brother. Bethany was watching that for a while.
Yeah.
She was really into that. That one's a lot better produced. That one, I actually, as much as I don't really like reality TV, I can understand the draw to that
Yeah.
because, you know, I mean, it's people, it's real drama. It's the same reason it's interesting to sit at the mall and watch like high schoolers talk and stuff. It's like, you know, it is kind of interesting. Same
Mhm.
reason like high school drama movies are good. So, yeah, I mean,
What
that's
was
probably
Big
the best
Daddy,
produced
though?
version.
What was Big Daddy? I remember
Big Brother.
Big Brother, Big Daddy. We talked about that earlier.
Big Daddy was an Adam Sandler movie.
Adam Sandler film.
About a man who has a child left at his doorstep, Jordan.
Another type of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Big. Okay, so did they like?
So Big Brother is just like a hidden camera show. It's basically if you did Survivor, but you had to live in a underground house, like for I want to say I was gonna say 6 weeks, but I think it's actually longer. Maybe like 10 weeks or something.
What?
So it's like several months they have to live there, completely shut off from the world, no cell phones.
Oh,
and
that's
I think-
different
I
from
think-
Real World.
It may not be underground, but it is like closed off. Like you can't even look out into the world. You can like look up to the sky. There's like a skylight in like the courtyard where they can like sunbathe, but like they're completely shut off
Oh
from
my
the world.
God, I had no
They
idea.
have like a ton of food. Like it's this huge house, and you know there's hot tubs and pools, and that weekly they have a contest, and it figures out who is the like, I don't know, Big Brother, whatever they call it. You
What?
get like a medallion or something, and so you're the like head of the household. It's one of those, you know, you have to vote somebody off, just like Survivor.
Did they do that in Real
It's-
World too, where they like we're asking you to leave because we don't like you anymore?
I don't know Real World that well.
Ah,
Yeah,
Forgot
I
the
only
rules.
loosely know what Real World was about, but yeah, basically you have a contest. It's like a physical thing, and whoever wins gets deemed like the person. And so I think they have a pardon, and they can like dismiss someone. So you're like
Hmm.
constantly trying to, you know, form relationships and like who are we going to vote off and alliances and all that. It's like if one of us becomes the Big Brother, I can't remember I should just Google this thing.
yeah.
You got to vote somebody off. So they're, you know, alliances, and I think the end prize was like $600,000 or something.
Nice, not
It's
bad.
been running since 2000.
It's still going.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh my God,
for sure. There's like this Asian lady that's been there for like all
Wow.
of time. She's like the ageless host.
I mean,
He's always looked the same for 20 years.
this stuff, like nobody is like getting into this now, right? I mean,
It's $500,000.
that's a lot more than
Contestants must compete against each other for the chance to win $500,000 in the house wired with cameras and microphones capturing their every moment for a TV and internet audience.
Wow.
So
Excellent. I mean, yeah, this stuff, it like almost kind of toes the line, because I have another section here where they're going to talk about like the contest / reality show kind of thing. But this is like, there's a bit of contest within this whole like living together thing. I think Road Rules was similar in that sense. It was like, we're living together, but we also have to do some sort of contest of some sort. So it was like
very much Survivor. Survivor's kind of the one that pioneered that idea.
Yeah, whereas like the personal drama is there too. So let's get into that. Well, the contest. I mean, here I feel like it's a little different. I feel like reality TV, when people think reality TV, they think of the drama, really. So the contest can like veer in and out of that whenever it wants. It's like we can focus on whatever the contest is, but if there happens to be some personal drama, we can focus on that too. Like I don't know, but there's not as much pulling each other's hair out and spitting on each other and you slept with that person. And there's not as much of that, it's more obviously everyone knows this, but it's funny to like think of it in comparison to the others. But yeah, we have Survivor, which is probably Survivor and American Idol are like the pioneers, I think, of this.
Yeah, I was trying to think. The Amazing Race. I don't know how far back that goes.
Yeah, The Amazing Race. That's early.
Survivor was 2000, so that's the same as Big Brother, actually. Wow. So they both premiered the same year.
Crazy.
Big Brother's a big CBS one.
Did you watch
Survivor's NBC? No, Survivor's CBS too. Man, Survivor just CBS just kills it in the TV game.
Yeah, they do. Did you ever watch Survivor?
I don't think I've watched a single episode.
I've watched the entire season. I think me and my mom, like way back in the day, we got into it. But like I could never last. That's the thing with a lot of these. It's hard for me to last several seasons. Like I might be like, all right, I'll check out this season. And then like I'll never watch a season again. And it's not because like, oh, I enjoyed myself, but for some reason it was over for me when that person won in the season that I watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, Survivor, I think was a little less about like, yeah, it was actually pretty evenly
split.
You'd have
to tell me.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, okay, so, like Alone, it's like a way more produced version of Alone. We're like, okay, we got producers here.
Really?
And we're going to throw all these people on like an island area
together. So there really is some surviving going on?
A little bit. I mean, they have to figure out food and stuff. They have like...
I didn't know that.
All right, it's like so they have these weekly challenges. They're on the island. They have to survive and deal with the elements and all that stuff. And they have
to create their own shelter?
I don't remember. I don't remember the shelter part. But
I didn't know there was actual surviving going on. I really never knew why it was called Survivor because it seemed so produced. I just figured they had like tents set up when they got there, and it was just like, here we are.
Yeah, no. The surviving part is an aspect of it, but it's not the whole aspect. So you get voted off the island. The thing that you're trying to avoid. Yeah. And they have
just like all these shows.
Just like a lot of these, you get voted off for whatever reason, and it's the other islanders doing the voting. There's no panel of judges, and you'd have a weekly challenge, and if you win that weekly challenge, it gives you immunity. And so you were able
That's the same as Big Brother.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
so
same thing.
Same show, same year.
It really is.
How about that? But yeah, you did have to survive a little bit. I do know that if you won in a certain way in the weekly challenge or the daily challenges or whatever in the challenge, you get like special gifts. You get like certain food. They might give you a chicken or something, or like they'll fly you in a burger, and everyone's like, I'm mad at that person because they're eating a cheeseburger, and I'm here eating like the skeleton or something. I don't know, but
don't blame them for that.
But yeah, the people would like form alliances to be like, oh, I want this. We're gonna team up and vote against that person.
It's Big Brother on an island.
Yeah, Big Brother on an island. It might be the same producers for all I know, but. Yeah, dang, they both have lasted, I guess. I don't know. Is Survivor still going on? There's no way of knowing.
Yep.
It is? Holy
I'm looking at all this right now. The same guy, Jeff Probst, has hosted every single episode.
Crazy.
597 episodes.
Dang. Wow.
Insane.
With this stuff, I think like with contests, like the music ones can almost be their own category because there's so many. Like American Idol was insanely popular and it spawned like so many of them. Like I think, like America's Got Talent and The Voice, obviously. But
Hmm.
when did you start watching American Idol? You've talked about it a little bit on the show. When did you start watching?
First season.
First season.
Yeah.
Kelly
I
Clarkson.
think I watched the first 2 and then I fell off. But like that first season, it probably speak for a lot of Americans where like our whole family was tuned into that show.
I think mine was too. Yeah.
It really caught our attention. Like we were there, like, back then it was like it was live, it wasn't, you weren't waiting to watch it
Yeah.
later or anything. Like now we just watch it on demand when we have time to. But back then it was like, we've got to know who's going to get voted off next.
It's funny how that appeal.
I think that was the greatest reality TV show for me.
Mm-hmm.
Being that I'm not big into reality TV, that's not saying a lot, but yeah, that was the one I enjoyed the most when it came out.
It's crazy at the time. I was talking about this with my wife, that you were voting by like calling in. You would call in to vote for who you wanted to go
Not
forward.
text.
Yeah, no.
Which is weird because you could have done that back then.
You
but
could have, but it was not as prevalent. And I think like they added that, but there's like texting fees apply, and that's like an actual commodity back in the day. And so yeah, that show was insane. I think a lot because the host
2002
production was high.
Yep.
And remains so. So yeah, crazy stuff. And yeah, a lot of things have spawned off of that. Like what do we have now? Like still we have
The Voice. That's
Voice,
probably the next big one.
Dancing with the Stars.
Masked
Like
Singer.
Masked Singer is
That one's a face palm for me.
It really is. I've watched one episode of The Masked Singer and I was like, this is overly produced.
It's a manufactured drama. It's the most manufactured thing. It's who?
Oh my god!
Like it matters at all.
Yeah, and it's always like so like a D-list when it's like a D-list
Randy
celebrity.
Jackson.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god! Like really?
You don't not get Randy Jackson's signature.
Oh my god.
Step Brothers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Amazing though that how far it's gone and just how much has come out of that. But again, there's not much like week to week drama. There's not a lot of drama there. There's like personal drama.
One that is a lot of drama that was a big one that just exploded. And if you remember, it's been a while now, but I actually watched a show, I think it's on BBC, about the origins of this show. So ABC's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh wow.
That was another one that just like came onto the scene and just exploded, and I feel like everyone was watching it, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
And yeah, it started in Britain and then came to America, and it just exploded.
Wow.
And that was great week to week drama. How smart is this person? How far can they go?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like we said, a lot followed that as well, and some of it was okay, and most of them were kind of stupid. Like, let's make a deal, like those kind of things.
Yeah, the game show was like on the wane, and then Who Wants to Be a Millionaire came along, and it kind of like blew up the whole thing again with like the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
It was trying to be
Weakest
like the
Link,
same similar kind of deal.
It came like right on the heels of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, it's like people are into it again, and families would like gather around. I got a few other ones here where it's like these are like contest ones, but some of these are like more like kind of blended things together. Like I remember there was one that was like I put this in there because it's really random. There was a WWF based one called Tough Enough that was on MTV. Bunch of dudes, they were like living together or whatever. So there was a little bit of drama there, but it was mainly about them like working out and getting to all these physical shapes and training to be a part of the WWF. And there'd be all these like wrestlers who would come and like try to teach them. And it's almost like, if you've ever seen that movie Fighting with My Family, it was almost like a televised version of that, which, obviously those instances weren't as televised, but yeah, very, very interesting.
I can't find Tough Enough on IMDb.
Is it called Tough Enough? I think it is called Tough Enough, but I'm not. Give me a moment. I'm not 100% sure. I just kind of made a list. Tough.
WWE Tough Enough. Yeah.
Wow. It must be really big. I don't know
That's
how many
weird. It's not
seasons
on
they did.
IMDb. 6 seasons, 68
6?
episodes.
Holy crap! I did not know
Vince
that.
McMahon created it.
Yeah, of
Presented by
course.
Steve Austin and Chris Jericho.
Wow. How about that? All right. So moving on to okay. Anything else you want for contests? I mean, we have a lot here. Contests like Alone. Like there's just like ones that are based on like surviving.
So good.
Like Alone. We've talked a lot about Alone.
Yeah.
There's ones like Project Runway that have a lot more drama involved that are based on a contest. There's a lot of these.
A lot
like,
of baking ones that are similar to Project Runway.
Hell's Kitchen. A
Hell's
lot
Kitchen.
of that. You know,
Hell's Kitchen is a little even in its own category though, because it's not as much about the baking, it's more about the like personal drama between the chefs.
Yeah.
So
screaming at each
like
other.
the baking ones are like actually the food I would say is the biggest star. There's obviously human drama, but it is you are kind of watching to see, oh, how did they do? You know, how did it turn out? But in Hell's Kitchen, it's more like, oh, that guy's an idiot, or oh, he's being too hard on that guy.
Yeah. It blurs the line between reality show and game show. It's like not a game show because I don't know. There's something.
It's the Chef Ramsay show.
Yeah, not
what it is.
Not anyone
without
can go
him.
on
It
these
wouldn't
shows.
work.
Yeah, exactly. I thought of this whole thing based on one thing that I was watching this weekend, and so that it's I guess mostly in the contest area. 2 shows that are extremely similar: Forged in Fire and Blown Away. Both of these shows are on Netflix. Where Blown Away
Forged in Fire
is very similar to Forged in Fire, except it's more artistic because it's about glass blowing. Imagine that.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I'll say it right here, Forged in Fire is much better. But because like it's more based on like
making swords is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and like it's more practical, whereas like how sharp is it? Is it comfortable if for me to hold? Will it, like is it powerful enough? And like this is like, the glass blowing's like, okay, we give you an assignment. Does it represent something inside of you? And did you do what we asked? And how good does it look? And I know stuff like that, which you're not going to smash it up against the wall and see if it breaks, but yeah, that like there's so many things like that kind of blur the lines. You wouldn't really call them game shows, because with a game show I feel like there's an aspect where it's like I could be on this, which like it's supposed to like give you that feeling like you're supposed to be answering the questions with the person or trying to help the person select. But with this one, you have like stuff like this, like the cooking ones and like stuff like this, you have no idea. You're like just, I'm interested, because this is a skill that I definitely don't have, and most Americans don't, or anyone for that matter.
Yeah. I'm trying so hard to find this one that I've been wanting you to watch for so long.
Oh, is it one?
I can't remember the name of it.
He's like a kind
Do you
of
remember the Adam Scott one that I was telling you about?
Shoot, Adam Scott.
It was like one word.
Yeah.
It was like,
don't. Is it called Don't?
Don't. Yeah.
Don't. I remember Don't.
It's just the funniest show. It's like, it's basically a parody of those kind of shows. That's really what it is. Like, it's just Adam Scott like making fun of that, and then Ryan Reynolds is a voiceover during the show, and it's just making fun of the entire show the whole time. It's so tongue in cheek. It's great.
I have one last category we can talk about, and it's hard to kind of categorize this one, but all I can really say is We're Rich is the best that I could do. With the We're Rich, watch us go kind of thing.
K with the K.
Yeah, we got Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yep.
We got
of that.
We got Laguna Beach in the Hills, and The Simple Life is. I don't know if The Simple Life can really fit into this.
That was probably the first one for me that I saw of that.
The Simple Life with
Paris Hilton
and Nicole Richie.
Uh-huh.
We're rich and we're attractive. Look at us do things.
Just do things.
I don't know.
What rich people do.
It's really that. It's always like they're either in high school and it's kind of like about their interpersonal drama only, or maybe it's about them like kind of having a business and like
the OC. Yeah.
The OC.
The OC and the Hills. They were kind of not the OC. Sorry.
Or
What's
was
the
it
one
Laguna
related to the
Beach?
hills?
Orange County? No, Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach, and then the hills. Yeah.
Yeah, the girl
The OC.
from Laguna
All these
Beach.
shows were like around the same time as the OC.
Yeah,
So that's why I said that.
California aesthetic. This is
Their
the
lives aren't
time.
that much different than the OC. So
Yeah, exactly. This is the time where OC, Laguna Beach, Hollister
Yeah.
were big. They were big. It's like the whole
at least
aesthetic.
in our world.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think every world. I mean, so many. You like watch MTV, and that's what people were wearing. These are where these shows were based. Is this West Coast like mentality that just kind of exploded? And I think Laguna Beach and the hills were huge into that. And honestly, there was no like. With these, there was no contest at all. Where in like a lot of these, there was something where it was like someone choosing something or someone getting eliminated. But with this, the end of the show was like something like, oh, we graduated, or we're going, I don't know, we came back from a trip. I don't know what it was. Like what were the endings?
I think the big change with that show was the fact that they really worked hard at making you feel like this was just a fly on the wall kind of thing.
Yeah, you're a part of these people's
obviously
lives.
It was not. Vanderpump Rules is kind of the more current version of that.
Oh,
where they're in LA and they work at this restaurant owned by this lady whose last name is Vanderpump, and she has this restaurant and there's a bunch of 20-some-year-old kids running around hooking up and being crazy.
Running around.
I mean, it's not that undifferent than the hills. It's just a little more promiscuous.
It's like they'll do something fun and they'll cut back to them like two girls in a house and like yellow cards playing in the background, and they're like, oh, is Chris coming over? Yeah, Chris is coming over, and I think Kristen's coming with them, something like that. And like, oh, I don't like Kristen.
And they come over and they end up yelling at each other. That's very much what the Vanderpump Rules show. That's the most recent one that my wife has watched.
It's like when you say it out loud, it just
Yeah. Oh no, I know without saying it out loud how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like at the time when you watch it, it's like you'd think, oh my gosh, there's people who live like this. Like this is what some people. I wish my life was this freaking easy.
Yep. I mean, I think that's the draw.
That's the draw.
That is the draw.
Because you look at the drama. I think people look at the drama in like a half judgmental and half like I wish those were my only problems kind of way, like whether or not Steven's coming over and I don't know how drunk Chris got at the last party. It's like and
then there's the one, this is another category that's very it's related to this, but I've never understood why this has been interesting. Okay, so we have what we just talked about, rich people in LA, New York, wherever they are, doing what they do. They're pretty. They have all kinds of money. They have beautiful cars. They have interesting lives. Then there's Teen Mom.
Yeah, Teen Mom
I've never understood the draw to this. I understand there's a lot of drama when you're a teen mom, and that's tough. But to me, this show is just, my life is really hard. That's it. And it's like, what's the draw in that? My life's hard too. I don't want to watch somebody else who's struggling like me.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like the opposite of Laguna Beach, where it's like you see them and you're like, it's Chris coming over. I wish that was my biggest problem.
It's Chris coming over.
And then you see Teen Mom and you're like, well, maybe my life's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe that sounds really mean, but maybe that's it, to where it's like, man, these people, they have some real problems, and I'm watching this on TV. I don't know, and I guess my stuff isn't that bad. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
The weird thing is they're still following these people, and like a lot of them have gotten some money now and are like doing pretty well in these newer seasons.
It's like becoming something else.
I'm like, well, if that was the draw then shouldn't be the draw now.
Yeah.
I've never gotten it. It's never been for me.
There's like some ones that are like, they're not rich. They're just like regular people who are not rich at all. And like, I don't know why these people were chosen or whatever it is, but it's just like it's a slice of life kind of thing, like Laguna Beach. But you're right. They're not well off and they're not living in like a rich neighborhood. And I have one for you here that I can't believe existed. And it's called Gainesville.
Oh,
do you remember this? when this was
I think
when
I
this was
remember
a
somebody
thing.
saying about this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Gainesville's our hometown here in Florida, just for anyone wondering. And they like, there's nothing special about Gainesville.
Not very big.
We're not very big. We're a college town, but not like a really like big one. I mean, UF is here.
CMT.
Yeah, CMT, Country Music
Yeah.
Television. And I remember like here, I don't think I maybe like watched clips, and I remember thinking like, that's Gainesville. Oh yeah, I guess it is, but is that supposed to represent Gainesville life? It was like a blur.
I gotta watch some of this.
Yeah, because like Gainesville is not like a rural like country like town. It's not. It's a real melting
No.
pot, but there's a lot of like country outskirts. There's a lot of people who travel into town.
Just like a lot of towns.
Yeah,
really.
just like a lot of towns. Like you go 20 miles in whatever direction, and there's like a rural, like Alachua or High Springs or whatever. There's a lot of that Chiefland, and so like it was focused more on that they'd like be living in those places, and then they'd like go party in Gainesville at like the college area downtown. And yeah, I can't imagine it being very bearable of a show like a lot of these, but it's just crazy to me that existed, and just kind of if they can make a show, Gainesville show, they can make a show about pretty much anywhere, because
here's a review on IMDb of Gainesville.
No.
They gave them 1 out of 10 stars.
All right.
They said, save your money, don't watch. The city of Gainesville is a fun, progressive, artsy, and diverse Florida college town.
Right.
And the TV show that hijacked its name is none of these things. Some money-grubbing New York City hacks decided to cash in on the reality show craze and chose Gainesville as their victim. The result of this desire, born entirely of greed, as an artless, low-energy, unimaginative, cash-sucking failure. I feel sorry for the cast. No doubt they were misled along with the rest of Gainesville community.
Wow. I don't know how misled I felt, but
somebody was angry.
Someone was really misled. Gainesville, finally, someone gives us a shot. And he's like, oh no. Yeah. Unique. Very.
Here we go. What is this?
Getting ready to see my favorite Gainesville restaurants and all my friends. No,
this isn't the Gainesville I know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's what okay, but what Jersey Shore is like kind of a mix of this. It's like slice of life, but also kind of like real world-ish, I guess. And these people are rich now, I guess, like Snooki and the gang.
Yeah, I guess so. The last one I saw was in 2018. Wow. I can't believe it's been that long ago.
I know.
Family Vacation, where I think they had kind of like gone away and not done it for a while, right? And then I guess they came back for like a reunion thing.
Yeah, I think that's going on now. So Paramount Plus, new streaming service, sort of like what CBS All Access evolved into, Pokemon style. But they've like taken a lot of these shows, they're bringing them back. There's like a Real World. We got the cast from the first season, and they're back to do Real World stuff again.
Probably look exactly the same.
I'm sure they do.
20 years later.
Good Lord. But yeah, I don't know. I think like when I think of like when it just crashed and burned, it was like I couldn't believe that Jersey Shore was as popular as it was / is, because it's still popular and it's still going.
I'd love to see the numbers. Yeah,
I'd love to see.
There's so much more entertainment out there now than there was 6-7 years ago when there's just so much more that Netflix and Amazon and Apple and all the HBO and all the companies have funded now. There's just like, it's hard to even get anything made because everything is being made at the same time. So it's hard for, I feel like, this to draw that much more attention any longer. Whereas
I know
the market when it came out was very different.
I guess maybe it might be the same audience. I mean, like, because as you said, how things were different. Like a lot of people,
but no new people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like now it's like, what do we watch? Let's scroll through Netflix until we find something that's good. And back then, like for a lot of people, the answer was, well, what's on MTV right now? And so right now, options
check the tube. Yeah,
exactly. Let's check the tube. We have these stations that we like. What's on them right now?
You and I used to do that
Yeah,
together. So
we are no
we
different.
live that life.
Exactly. How do you think I watched several episodes of Flavor of Love? I'm not, as much as I am out of step with all this stuff now, I am not a foreigner in a new land per se.
So let's wrap this up, Jordan. So
Let's do it.
let's both tell the people what our favorite is. Of
Okay.
all these categories we've gone through, what's your favorite example of a reality TV show?
Okay, so this is tough because like right now, I don't watch a lot, but
You
I
can
have.
admit your guilty pleasure, Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say like I like the ones that wrap up in one episode. That's what I like. It's hard for me to watch
Right.
an entire season of it, but
Like we were saying, like next. or
like
something.
next. Yeah, but a guilty pleasure of mine. Okay, so I love Gordon Ramsay. That's no guilt here at all. I think he's very talented. He's a great entertainer. I love the man. But a real guilty pleasure show that I have is definitely Kitchen Nightmare, which Kitchen Nightmare is the same
Yep.
episode every single episode, and I
Yeah.
love it.
It's
I
like
love
Bar
it.
Rescue, right?
It's like Bar Rescue.
That's another one we never mentioned.
Yeah, he comes, he looks at the
Yeah.
menu, it marvels at how long it is, says
Yeah.
it's too long, tries it, spits it out,
Yeah.
talks to the waitress,
That's
asks
a
her a
good
bunch
example.
of questions. It's the
I
same.
had forgotten
freaking
about
thing.
the nightmare business
Yeah.
category.
And then
That's a
like
good example. Yeah.
they'll open it, they'll look at it in the wild, like let's see how customers are enjoying it. Oh, word has spread around town that Gordon Ramsay's in town, so the
Yeah.
place is busier than usual. Every single freaking episode is the
Yeah.
same, but I love it. And so it's definitely a guilty pleasure of but I'll sit my butt down and I'll watch several episodes of it wherever it's streaming.
The one we forgot to mention was the house building ones.
Oh yeah, house
There's
building.
so many ones we've forgotten.
House flipping. They're travel ones that are based solely around travel. There's so freaking many that there's.
What was the
entire
one where they
categories
gave
of
a
this.
family a house? That's like one of the longer.
That was a big
running
one.
ones.
Oh my god, that was a big one.
Oh,
I'm
blanking on the name of it.
I don't remember. Oh my gosh. We have to find
Google,
this
Google, Google.
because that one was huge. Everyone, like a lot of people, were watching that one. Oh man, for the life of me, I cannot remember it. It was probably the one that like really started it all when it came to like the whole house rebuilding thing, or at least like really
Extreme Home Makeover.
extreme home makeover. Oh, my camera.
Or I think it's Makeover, Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Wow,
I actually didn't find it. I just thought of it.
crazy.
Did not rely on Google that time.
Yeah, very much like and here's your new home. That sort
Yeah.
of deal where it's like a lot, that kind of drama where it's like these people
Yeah.
need help, and here comes this team of.
They did one here in our hometown.
Did they? How about
Yeah.
that?
So I think my favorite. So I have two answers. One would be my guilty pleasure answer, which I have to say it's Laguna Beach. I was a sucker for that show.
Did I remember? I remember that.
I was
time.
young and stupid, and I really enjoyed it. But my more recent thing is Alone. I loved Alone.
Alone
I
was
enjoyed
really
it
good.
so much. It's just, yeah. I think we stopped. We didn't finish like maybe one of the last seasons, but every other season before that, it was just so good. Like I've said, it's such a weird thing. You would think if somebody told you the concept for a show, I'd be like, that doesn't sound that interesting, but something about it is just so interesting to see people go through that kind of extreme torture,
Yeah,
just awfulness.
I think with a lot of these, like there's always like the scale of believability where we talked like The Masked Singer as far as singing like shows are, it's like low on the scale of believability, but with the surviving ones, Alone is like way up there where it's like you don't feel like there's a lot of bull crap and you feel like
They have to film it themselves.
yeah, they
so,
have to film it themselves.
eliminates pretty much everything. It's super raw. And I think that's another thing that's so good about it.
Yeah, we've been around like reality TV show producers and like how they will lead the conversation and be like, "Hey, can you
Yeah.
talk more about this?" It's
Feels
like
dirty.
it's like, ooh, and you don't feel like Alone has any of that. Where I think most of these shows have at least some of that. So yeah,
They feel pressure to make it interesting. It's just
yeah,
I don't
we
like
have
that
to
kind of thing.
thread some sort of tapestry of drama together.
I just feel like it should be real or it should not be real. Like
Yeah. the prospects of surviving alone in harsh wilderness is dramatic enough on its own. It doesn't
Yeah.
really need any
That's
leading.
why they pick those crazy spots.
Yeah, where it's like, here's a swamp. Good luck starting a fire. You know,
Yeah.
that's dramatic in and of itself. So you don't really need a producer telling you what to say or what to cry about or whatever. So yeah, that's a really, really good one. All right. So yeah, that's reality TV. Next week, man, here it comes. This is it. The long awaited Snyder Cut.
Yep.
4 hours
Here
long.
we go.
Here we freaking go. Amazing that it's happening. That's just the craziest thing. I just remember just being so dumbstruck finding out that it was actually going to be a thing. I never thought that we'd be here, but here we are.
And then it's going to be 4 hours, so they probably didn't cut much out.
No. Yeah. What right now? What are your expectations? A few days from the thing itself.
I can't help but think that no matter what he does, I'm going to feel like it's way too long and it's going to drag in parts. I just can't help but I can't kick that feeling. So that I'm a little frustrated because I'm just, I hope he proves me wrong, but it's just like, oh, that 4 hour timeline, just like, how is it going to hold my attention for 4 hours?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, how am I going to find 4 hours to watch this freaking movie?
I was thinking about that a lot.
Especially with a baby that never sleeps for 4 hours. So I don't know. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what is essentially, for the most part, a brand new DC movie.
Yeah. Like, I mean, really,
at least in spirit, you know, brand new movie.
Exactly. It's a brand new movie. It's not a remix of the original. It's so long, so much longer. It can't help but be like feel like a different movie.
Yeah. I still keep meaning to, and I really hope I get to it this week before I see the new one. I want to go back and watch the old one. I've been saying that for weeks, but I really do want to do that. I want to compare apples to apples. It's the first time we've really had anything like this where there's been such a new version. We've had movies. I mean, Lord of the Rings was like one of the epitome, like you have to see the extended versions. But this is the first time it's been like, no, you literally have to watch this because it's a different movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like there were a few things left on the cutting room floor that they added in. It was like, man, that would have made the movie a lot better.
Yeah, it's not like the Rogue
Lord of the Rings was. You know, it's like, okay, that's cool. But this is like, no, they like chopped off large chunks of this movie. Like limbs were left on the cutting room floor. And so like they're going to put back together this like monstrosity of a human and maybe it'll be something awesome. We'll see. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm excited.
Me too. I mean, my opinion's the same as it has been. I am super excited in two directions. It's either going to be I can't believe that this is real, and it's fascinating either way. I'm fascinated if it's great, it's even more fascinating. But then if it's bad, it's like, well, this is another type of interesting kind of thing, you know, like the decisions were made. Wow. And so either way, yeah, oh my God.
If it's just terrible.
If it's worse. See, I think that's all.
How could it be, Jordan? How could it be?
Honestly, that's the only thing that needs to happen, Luke. It just needs to pass the bar of being better than the original. And that's it. I think Snyder Cut fans and the people who are championing this will be happy if it feels more like what maybe BVS was, and if they like it better than Justice League. I think that's all it needs to do for that petition for part 2 to come. I think that's it. Whether or not part 2 will ever happen, I have no idea. I never thought this would happen, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
How much did they actually film? It's just crazy.
Crazy. Freaking nuts. But yeah, here it comes.
Yep.
We'll be here
all
next
our questions will be answered. I hope it's good will either come to fruition or not come to fruition.
Yeah, indeed. We got a big week next week. I mean, we'll probably, we won't probably have too much to say about the premiere of Falcon Winter Soldier, so maybe that could be like a watching / playing thing, but I'm sure we'll have a ton.
I mean, that'll be more evolving, so
exactly. Well, I'm sure we'll have a ton to say about it. We'll do a full review of Justice League next week. I am so excited to have this conversation. So,
Yep. And maybe next week we'll mention all the Oscar nominees.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I'm going to start watching some of them.
Yeah. A lot of them are
A
streaming.
lot of them are streaming. Yeah. This year's different than most years.
Exactly.
Most year they're like, hold it off streaming. No, don't let anybody watch it. They have to buy a ticket. Then they re-release in theaters, so you have to go see them. Not this year, baby.
Oh crap, COVID. They're all streaming now. All right. Well, anyways, that does it for this episode, and we will see you guys next week for our Justice League review.
That's
Snyder
right.
Cut. Luke, I'll see you later.
See you later.
Ooh.